Have you ever spent 20 minutes explaining a maneuver with diagrams only to see your learner yawning and looking out at the window? You're not alone, and the problem might not be them. Welcome to the Good Driving Instructor. I'm Richie Rich, and today we're talking about the one question that will transform how you teach from your very first lesson with a new learner. If you're watching this, chances are you're a driving instructor or trained to be one, and you want to be the best you can for your learners. As instructors, we put so much time into preparing our lessons, studying the DVSA guidelines, and making sure we know our stuff inside and out. So when a learner doesn't seem to be taking it in, it can be really frustrating. For a long time, I thought it was down to them not being focused or maybe just having an off day. But the more I taught, the more I realized I might be the one going about it the wrong way. Over the years, I've interviewed countless driving instructors who've come to me looking for a driving instructor job with my driving school. And one thing that keeps coming up consistently is how many of them rely on the same approach for every single learner. Explain first with manuals and diagrams and then let them drive. And look, that works for some people. I've had learners who won't even touch the steering wheel until they have been explained everything and shown diagrams. They need to understand the theory completely before they put it into practice. But for others, it's like trying to put a square peg in a round hole. I remember one learner I had, Sarah. First lesson, I pulled out the trusty folder, started going through the highway code, explaining lane positioning with some drawings, and she just kept fidgeting, drumming her fingers on her knee, just looking at the steering wheel like she couldn't wait to get hold of it. Finally, she said, "Can't I just have a go first, then tell me what I did wrong?" I was a bit taken aback at first, scratching my head. I'd planned the first whole hour explaining the basics before we even moved the car. But I thought, why not? And said yes. And you know what? She adjusted her seat mirrors properly and within 10 minutes was moving off and stopping smoothly in a quiet practice area that we'd chosen. Better than some learners I'd spent an hour explaining to. Afterwards, when I showed her the diagrams and talked through what she'd done well and what we could improve, that's when it clicked for her. She could see exactly what I meant because she'd already felt what it was like behind the wheel. That's when I realized we all learn differently, and there's a really simple way to find out how each learner prefers to do things, basically. Next time you start with a new learner, after the introductions, after checking their eyesight, provisional license, ask them this. Before we get going properly, I just want to know, how do you learn best? Do you like to have everything explained to you first so you know exactly what to do, or do you prefer to have a go, then talk through what happened? Now, a lot of them will look at you and say, "I don't know." And that's totally fine. So here's what you say next to get them thinking. Fair enough. Have you ever put together a flat pack item from Argos or let's say IKEA? You know, like a wardrobe or a bookcase or a table. Almost everyone says yes. Then follow up with, when you did that, did you read every single page of the instructions before touching a screw? Or did you just have a quick look at the pictures, then start building and check the instructions as you went along? That's when they'll light up and tell you exactly how their brain works. Some will say, "Oh, I read every word first. I need to know exactly what I'm doing before I start." Others will say, I just dive straight in and figure it out as I go. Reading instructions first bore me. And that's one simple conversation that tells everything you need to know about how to teach them. So let's say you have a learner who is a dive straight in first person, like Sarah was. Instead of spending 20 minutes on diagrams, before they even touch the wheel, you could say, "Okay, so you like to have a go first. That's great. Let me just show you quickly where all the controls are and go through the basic safety checks. Then we'll move off nice and slow in this quiet area. After a few minutes, we'll pull over and I'll show you what you did well and what we can tweak. Sounds good? Then when you do pull over, that's when you bring out the diagrams. Point to their lane position on a map or show them exactly how to adjust the mirrors, because now they've got a real experience to tie that all up and they know what it feels like when the car pulls left or right. So the diagrams make sense now. For learners who need everything explained first, then absolutely take out, all your books, your folders, and run through everything with them about junctions, get your whiteboard out, talk through every single step. They'll feel much more confident knowing what to expect before they turn the key in the ignition. So there you have it. It's not about ditching the great resources we have as instructors. It's about using them at the right time for each individual learner. And this isn't just about making lessons more enjoyable for everyone. It ties right into what the DVSA expects from us as approved driving instructors. If you look at the standards check test form, you will see a section on teaching and learning strategies. And under that, you'll be marked on, was the teaching style suited to the pupil's learning style and current ability? So if you're teaching them the way they learn best, chances are you will score highly in this section. If you look at the DVSA's National Standard for Driving Instructors, it specifically talks about adapting your teaching methods to meet the needs of the individual learner. And this is exactly how you do that. When you teach someone in the way that works best for them, they retain information better, they're less nervous behind the wheel, and research shows they're more likely to pass their test first time. Plus, let's be honest, happy learners mean good word of mouth, referrals, great online reviews, and more successful business to you too. That's a win-win for everyone. So here's my challenge to you. Next time you have a new learner, starting with you, ask them those two simple questions about how they learn best, about the flat pack furniture. I promise you, you'll be surprised at how much it changes your lessons for the better. No more yawning learners, no more frustration, just better progress and happier people on our roads. If you've tried this already, or you've got your own ways of figuring out how learners learn best, drop me a comment below. I'd love to hear what works for you. We can all learn from each other. And if you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more tips for UK driving instructors, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. And remember, being a good driving instructor isn't just about knowing the rules of the road. It's about knowing how to help each person learn them. See you soon.